Most people have invited darkness into their life. They've invited evil. They've invited demonic things and situations. But you, on the other hand, see straight through the evil and through the bullshit. And if you are sick and tired of such bullshit, join my free community, the No Bullshit Society, where we level up through truth, certainly not evil. The link's in the description and pinned comment down below. I've done a lot of research and spoken to some very religious people of different faiths. And they all said to me the following, that a lot of people of all ages, men and women, have invited willingly evil and darkness into their lives. It starts very small, very minuscule, and it then gets totally out of control. And whether you believe in it or not, darkness and evil are the same, maybe sisters of the same thing. And why that affects you is when they invite that darkness into their lives, you are on the receiving end. Ask any friend or family member or person who's done so and you see it, you are going to be affected. Put a rotten apple with fresh, ripe apples, all of those apples will go rotten. Ask anyone or invite anyone who's invited darkness and evil into their lives. You will have darkness and evil and unlucky, awful circumstances happen as well. Whether you believe it or not, this is a fact and a truth. And like I said, people start very small. Perhaps they start idolizing false idols. Perhaps they start putting statues and talking about energy. Maybe they do tarot card readings. Maybe they start praising and falling in love with cults. Most recently, many dark cults and online agendas have occurred through the internet. And I'm not talking about extreme spiritual ones. I'm talking about very surface level ones, such as the Manosphere, the Red Pill, or the Sigma movement. And then there's the pro-anti-feminism, all of this shit, the alphas, the betas, all of this slang is a cult and an agenda to tap into your darkness, to suck the life out of you, to make you question things in a way you never thought was possible. And notice how you get a dopamine hit and get excited because you feel like, oh yeah, this is just like me. But ask how you are later down the line. Ask what choices you make. Ask why your relationships always end up the same way. Ask why you're more miserable and depressed by the end of it, but then hanging on to every word of a false idol. In today's modern culture and society, perhaps young women idolize darkness through celebrity or through influencers. The Kardashians, for example. A young woman will look at a fake, evil, toxic person like that and sell their souls and their bodies and their minds to the idea that I need to look and act like that. Why do you think someone like Andrew Tate has taken off so explosively online? He champions himself as a voice for reason and logic and the voice for young men. And the actual fact is men, young men who are lost, invited darkness into their lives by believing lies in the first place, by self-sabotaging, by not holding themselves accountable, by lacking discipline, by not having a father figure, by being born in the wrong situation. And of course, by going down the rabbit hole of these cults, these forums, these blogs, and so on. When you root yourself in truth, when you become a no bullshit person, it has got nothing to do with conspiracy. It has got nothing to do with agenda. It's got nothing to do with fake titles. It's to do with your own personal truth. And your own personal truth, when you ring really deep and you go deep deep, deep within yourself, you recognize the following truths. That darkness and evil terrifies you. And you don't have to be a practicing Christian, a Muslim, or a Catholic to figure that out. Darkness feels unnatural to you. Even just the word darkness sends a shiver down your spine, puts your hairs on end, makes you feel uneasy, gives you a difficult taste in your mouth. And let's talk about aura. You step foot into an environment and a place. Why do you suddenly feel triggered? Why does your stomach begin to churn? Why do you feel afraid? Why are you looking over your shoulder? Why can't you wait to get out? Because you don't belong in that darkness. And you never did. The harsh, brutal reality is when we go down the rabbit hole, when we put our blinkers on like horses bolting down the track, we are spiraling into something evil. And these people have agendas to self-sabotage and sabotage you in the process. They will never come out and say this, but they'll say the following internally. If I'm going down, everything and everyone else will. If I'm burning myself down, I'm burning everything with me. Not just physically, but metaphorically as well. These people walk into rooms and say internally, I cannot wait to wipe the smile off their faces. I cannot wait to stir the pot. I cannot wait to see their happiness and peace and health taken away from them. These people allowed darkness into their lives because they had weak boundaries, because their morals were weak, because they're naive, because they prided themselves in bullshit. And when it started small, watching a particular program, idolizing a certain person, false prophets, black magic, whatever the hell you want to call it, I was going to swear there, that's how it starts. And then it manifests into darkness. Their eyes dead behind. Their souls hanging on for dear life. The tone of their voices change. Their demeanor changes. Why is it when you welcome them into your home, you feel ill? You feel frightened. They've got a bad energy, you say. They've got a bad aura. Good. That's your instinct and intuition telling you something is not right. And what is not right is they've allowed darkness into their lives and allowed the darkness to possess them. So through their selfish actions, through their narcissism, through their abuse, through their disrespect, through their inability to love, through their extreme views and opinions and passive-aggressive comments and their self-sabotage, like I said at the beginning of this video, you are on the receiving end of it. Whether you're religious or not, you think you can pray, you think you can heal, you think you can help them. But as these religious teachers and leaders I reached out to said, we can only do so much. Unless these people are willing to be self-aware and see themselves through truth and recognize what they're doing, what they're practicing, what they're believing, nothing is going to change. So if you are on the receiving end of darkness and you are letting dark, evil people into your life, into your home, around your children, into your work, into your heart, into your soul, take a step back immediately and be rooted in truth. See the behaviors, witness the patterns, notice the red flags, look out for the warning signs, watch every move. Then, and only then, will you determine that something needs to change. If you don't make this decision and come to this conclusion, what will happen to you will be no different to the rotten apple and the fresh batch of fruit there, which all rots away. It doesn't matter how tough you are, how strong, how stoic, how religious you are. You allow darkness into your life through the darkness of another person. Say goodbye to peace. Say goodbye to your soul. Say goodbye to your life. To protect yourself and your mental health, put in a boundary and say no. Say no thank you. Close that chapter on that relationship. Block, delete, walk away. Your life is precious and brief. To associate with darkness and a dark person was never on the cards. It doesn't matter how attractive they are, it doesn't matter who they were and what they meant to you. If they've gone down that path, it's probably too late for them, but it's still not too late for you. Be rooted in truth and be ruthlessly no bullshit. And if you want to level up through truth and come to epiphanies with like-minded people who can push you in that direction, join 800 plus people in the No Bullshit Society for free. The link's in the description and in the pinned comment just down below. It really, really saddens me that these people, these individuals exist, but they have done since the dawn of time. And this is not even woo-woo, this is a fact. You can see it in their eyes. Soulless, harsh, cold, frightening. You have warmth, you have energy, you have love, you have a beautiful aura. Do not associate with that bad apple. Do not invite them in. You don't need to make a big song and dance about it. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops. All you've got to do is just simply walk in the opposite direction. I know it's hard. I know it's scary. But what is truly terrifying is, God forbid, waking up one day and looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing that you let the darkness in as well. And you'll always see it because you've got the awareness to do so. If this hasn't resonated yet, watch it again and again until it finally sinks in.